one of the things that I have done as an author and a writer is put my feelings into words. And so I've written a lot of poetry. And when I write my poetry, it's raw. It's in the moment of those feelings I'm having. And so it's not like I go sit at my desk at night thinking, okay, what am I going to write about today? No. When I'm in the mode of having those feelings about whatever, in this case, codependency, that's when I start writing. And so I want to share some of my poetry, and I think it will give a little bit more flavor to what I've shared, okay? This one's called Remove the Cataracts. Where do you draw the line whenever neediness and codependency are entangled? When does support become enabling and setting parameters becomes apathy? Remove the cataracts from my eyes that I may see. Okay. When I was reading Codependent No More, I came up with this poem. It's called Reactionaries. Reactionaries we become, overly involved, hopelessly tangled, excessively worried and obsessed, emotionally dependent caretakers, which keeps us submerged in chaos. This one's called Fatal Attraction. Narcissistic personality disorder and codependency take their stance in mirrored reflection of the other, hopelessly yoked together in fatal attraction. Okay. And I've dealt with narcissistic, and that's the hardest thing to come to terms with. I have known for a very long time how unhealthy narcissistic people are. But when I came to understand how codependent personality disorder is, or codependent, yeah, that's what it is, codependency, codependent people, where we mirror narcissistic people in that the world revolves around us. Everything, we are the center of everything. So anyway, okay, this poem came about as I considered how I've gone from total codependency to publishing a book to public speaking. This is like, people have no idea, when you go from total 100% codependency and you haven't started healing, I could never do this. I could never put myself out there. And so this is rather remarkable. Okay, it's called I'm Popping Up. I'm popping up from my hiding place, emerging from undisclosed, venturing out from being unknown to feeling uncomfortably exposed. All right. This one's called Drawing the Line. Where do you draw the line when neediness and codependency are entangled? When does support become enabling, setting parameters becomes apathy, and acquiescence becomes confusion? Where do you draw the line? That explains how it is for me still today. I'm constantly questioning everything that I do. I'm so determined to heal from codependency. I will never go back. But I'm constantly, every time I'm asked to do something, then I find myself asking, if this is a healthy line that I need to cross, or do I need to keep the line drawn and not cross? It's hard to make that distinction. Okay, this one's called Changing Armor. Changing armor. I'm first strip searched and showered before my newly purchased armor is set upon my shoulders. I ready my sword and shield while I hold my stone and sling, then face my Goliath and steady my aim. Okay, this one again has to do with the similarities between narcissistic personality disorder and codependency. It's called Close Cousins. Close cousins, soulmates, codependence and narcissism sit together on their sick bed, living their fantasy, while blind and deaf to the truth, self-destructive, controlling, manipulative, and crippled in their effort to reclaim life. Acknowledge your demise, accept responsibility, and put away your bedclothes. Here's another one. It's called That Disease. Only those who recognize it in themselves are capable of detecting it in another. That disease which ravages humanity and rots away capacity, confidence, and realness, leaving in its wake depression, anxiety, guilt, and emptiness until every victim slips into a coma. Unavoidable yet curable codependency. All right. Okay, this one's called Comprehending Codependency. You think you get it, but you don't. How can you? A codependent person cannot comprehend codependency until he believes he's codependent and takes responsibility to heal from the malady without putting it off for another day. Okay, this one's called Sinkhole. Sinkhole. When codependency walks on a borderline street. Sinkhole. Okay, this one is called Talked Into. It's amazing what you can get talked into doing when you're a nobody. Hurry up and be somebody so you can learn to say no. Okay, this one's called Yoked to My Past. You ask why I'm carrying around a big black trash bag. Codependency left garbage along the trail. Curse that plague, for although I'm in a different place, it's left me yoked to my past. This one's called In This Liberation. Forgive my stumbling as I search for my voice in this liberation from captivating dependence when silence was my taskmaster and I sat in chains. And that's how it was. Let's see. Stop my feet. Oh, yeah, this is good. Okay, this one's called Stop My Feet. Fine line between rescue and assist, disable and support, enmeshed and involved, obsessed and concerned, inviting dependence and encouraging independence. Shine the light and clear confusion. Stop my feet when I cross the line. This one's called Coming Back. Being around normal is toxic. Reminiscing is deadly. Remembering destroys today. Wishing obliterates reality. Pining muddles clarity. Going back is unsurvivable. This one's called To Freedom. Delicate silken threads subject withered souls to senseless compliance, interdependent grasp of victim, rescuer, disdainfully held in passionate harmonious discord. Futile search for escape breeds despair until emerging strength triumphs and dislodges chains. As the cavalier emerges, souls audaciously seek for banished control, perceiving that friendship has become the enemy, unvanquished passage through every entombing thread to freedom. This poem has to do, again, with how codependent people that are enmeshed in a codependent relationship bounce between rescuing and fixing to victim, back and forth, and then bringing it up in that last piece of making it a triangle, and that is allowing the other person to perceive you as the enemy or as a persecutor, I guess. And so this one has to do with what the other person may feel. This one's called As I Break Away. Shadows fade, rays of morning sun awaken my slumbering heart. As I break away from codependency, love infuses, dispelling myths and doubt. Quickened, I peel away my cocoon and stretch my crumpled wings, Bathed in light, warmth, I grow strong, beautiful, take to flight, and feel gentle breezes lift me higher than I've ever been. I shall never look back again. So my journey of healing from codependency has taken me through some difficult valleys of regret, looking back and thinking of the mistakes that I've made and the lives that I've affected, because I've affected a lot of lives. I never did anything consciously vindictive, consciously trying to hurt anybody. But the truth is, codependency hurts people, and it affects the lives of everyone around. And because of that, that has introduced a whole new reason to get depressed sometimes. But at the same time, it's caused me to reach up even farther to our Heavenly Father to help me in being able to distinguish why I do what I do, distinguish when I should be involved, when I should put the parameters in place and say no. My relationship with Heavenly Father has been very much strengthened. And so I have one more poem to kind of sum up what I've been trying to say, okay? This one's called The Canvas. God showed me the canvas on which was painted landscape scenes representing my life. It was flat, lifeless, and dull. Something's wrong, said I. You left out the shadows and darker shades. There's no dimension, realness, depth. He replied, you wanted me to paint life without difficulties, sorrows, and heartbreak. Oh, I returned, but it shows I have not lived. Please do it again and show how it really was while I lived and then died. Okay, this is my last one. This one's called I Am My Very Own Beautiful. I am my very own beautiful, the best of who I am. I'm the finest me you'll ever find because I'm doing what I can. I am one of God's own children with a blueprint in my soul. I have what I need to get back to Him. To become like Him is my goal. Though I'm not what I'll be, I'm the best that I've been, both the has-beens and will-be's of me. I am God's creation, the gem He designed. I'll be my very own beautiful, so God's glory in me will shine. Between the time I was a little girl until I was, how old was I? 2008. I had written about 80 poems, which some people say that's very impressive. Around 2009-ish, I started really being faced with codependency as I never had been before in my life. And then I started on the road to healing from my codependency. So 80 poems from the time I was a little girl up until 2008. By the time 2012 came around, I had written 800. So that's in 4 years, 800. In, 40 some odd years, however long it had been since I started writing and writing poetry, 80. This big long time, this 4 years, 800, okay? So I had, by the time 2012, I had roughly about 800 poems. 2012, right now, it's the beginning of 2017, I've written well over 2,000 poems. I share that because that is the miracle of healing from codependency, healing from that stuck place, healing from not being able to move forward and be a contribution to the world. Healing from codependency is the most dynamic contribution we can give to life.